Well, thank you guys for tuning in today to the show. I'm super excited to have President Smatresk here with UNT. So we are so excited to have you on the show today. And thank you so much for tuning in, especially over the phone. I know it's kind of crazy right now, but thanks so much. So today I would love to, so go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience. Sorry.
Hello, everybody. I'm Neal Smatresk. I'm the president of the University of North Texas. I've been here since 2014. It's coming into my 7th year.
Wow. Well, thanks so much for popping on today. We're super excited to have you. So how did you end up in Denton? What brought you to UNT? What brought you to this great city?
Well, I was president of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And I got to tell you, Vegas is a great town to live in. It was always fun. There was always stuff going on. And I enjoyed it. And I remember my wife and I were talking, and she said, well, we both agreed that if we were to ever take a different presidency, that it would be for quality of life. I started my career at UT Arlington. So my family, my son and his wife live here, and they had just had a baby. Okay.
Wow.
So when I got the chance to come to UNT, I jumped on it. I wanted to come back to a great school, and I wanted to come back to my family. So, you know, they're still living here. They're living 10 minutes away in Argyle, and life is great.
I love that. Yeah, being close to family is a very big blessing. You know, me and my family, we've grown up here in Denton for forever, and we've lived here for forever. And so it's nice to, you know, as me and my husband are starting our family, kind of still be in the same area. So super cool. So can you share?
And now we have 3 grandchildren here, plus my daughter and son-in-law have 2, and they're moving to Lantana.
Oh my gosh. Well, they're still going to be close. I love that. Do you just love being a grandpa?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
It's great.
I think that's a super fun job too. So speaking of fun jobs, can you share a little bit kind of about your job as the UNT president?
Well, as the UNT president, I serve a community of 40,800 students and about variously 4,000 to 6,000 employees, depending on how many students are being employed at any given time. And our job's to try to make this a great university to get an education, to change the face of North Texas and beyond by giving kids a path up and a chance to succeed in this modern world where no one even knows what the jobs of the future are going to be like, and things are changing so fast because of COVID. Our job is to make sure people get a satisfying education, a good career, and can live a life where they have a sense of well-being.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just love it. My husband's a UNT grad, and he speaks very highly of you. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So you mentioned that you had 40,800 plus students. So UNT enrollment has grown 4% this fall. And what do you think caused the rise of this enrollment?
Well, I know what caused the rise in enrollment, and I know also that there are some threats on the horizon. The rise in enrollment is because we, through CARES Act funding and emergency grants and aid, we were able to help a lot of students financially to stay enrolled in school.
Wow.
And we had a 5% increase overall in our retention numbers of current students. That's a huge jump. So our returning students came back in droves, you know, because you lose quite a few students through a year when you're this big. And we didn't lose this year. Strangely, our international population grew. A lot of kind of landlocked internationals decided that they would continue their education. And our graduate population increased dramatically, like 16, 17% or something crazy like that. So we had some really good success, some good recruiting efforts, and I think we'll continue to stay strong. There are some storm clouds on the horizon. First time in college fell, as did transfers. And those, we think that there's some groups that were hit very hard economically that just felt it wasn't the right time to start in college. Maybe they'd take a gap year. So hopefully when things normalize, we'll get them back.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Well, you guys are obviously doing something right over there. So keep up the good work. So speaking of kind of the pandemic and, everything that's kind of going on in the world right now, how has the pandemic changed your outreach to the UNT students?
It's challenging. There's a lot of students who are taking classes remote or online,
Mm-hmm.
sitting in their apartments or home. And I think there's a lot of students who are feeling stressed,
Yeah.
um, more behavioral issues, more mental problems. And
Mm-hmm.
it's understandable. I think we all call it COVID crazy
Yeah.
because of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So where we have opened up, so let me make one thing clear. We're still
Mm-hmm.
running face-to-face classes. About 45% of our
Right.
students have at least one face-to-face class.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're trying to do is make sure that we continuously engage them. We let them know that there's services. We talk about helping your friends out and keeping the community safe.
Mm-hmm.
We try to help make sure students can access advising and counseling and their faculty members as well as we can. It's not perfect. People like to be together. People like to
Right.
be in groups, and
Yeah.
this is stressful to people. So football, I think actually a lot of people criticized us for having football, but believe it or not, it's a community event that makes people feel a little bit of normalcy, and we've got
Yeah.
no evidence that we're spreading COVID from football.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
comes from parties, but anyhow.
Yeah.
So, so those are the kinds of things that we're doing, and again, it's harder. And I think our faculty have often expressed they miss the connection that they were able to form with their students when they were face to
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. My mom is a high school teacher here in DISD, and that's one thing she misses the most is, getting to see her students and kind of interact with them on, a face-to-face level. So
Yeah.
absolutely, it's a little crazy right now. So, but in all this craziness, UNT was recently named one of the nation's top 100 colleges and universities for Hispanics. So, can you talk about what this means for the diversity and inclusion of UNT?
Well, as you know, diversity and inclusion was a big conversation this past February and March through the
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matters events. We
Absolutely.
took on as a university a series of really major commitments
Mm-hmm.
to become more diverse, more intentionally diverse, to hire more diversity. And we're working on all of those things right now. I've got a lot of committees out there that are busy forming recommendations for us to implement as part of our plans.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few different impacts of it. The first thing is when you become an HSI, you also become a minority serving institution.
Oh,
And
okay.
that makes you eligible for certain types of federal funds. So we
Mm-hmm.
actually got, right after we were named when COVID hit, we got CARES Act funding specifically for minority serving institutions, which we've shared with students and used to continue classes and to arrange services for them. The other part is we're one of 16 tier 1 HSIs in the country. There's only
Wow.
16 of us. And
Yeah.
we actually just all met yesterday on a really big meeting talking about a grant that we'll work on from the Carnegie Mellon Foundation to help bring more Latinx students into doctoral degrees so that we can have more faculty who
Mm-hmm.
represent our populations. So
Wow.
the kind of activities that are going on now is we want to hire more Latinx faculty. We want to make sure that Latinx students feel comfortable, happy, and well served on our campus. We're doing more bilingual and marketing, especially to Hispanic communities.
Mm-hmm.
So those are all the kinds of things that are going on right now. And I just got to say,
Yeah.
there's a fair amount of energy around it. We're also building
Mm-hmm.
a new multicultural center. It'll be a really great building, kind of like our Welcome Center. That'll be, I guess what I say is a cultural watering hole for people to come and share common experiences and feel, that they've got a peer that they can talk to and communicate with to make their transition into college life a little bit smoother.
I love that. Well, it sounds like you guys are really, you guys are building that diversity and inclusion every day at UNT. And it's really awesome to see you guys take a step in the right direction of, being more inclusive and being welcoming to everybody. So I love that. So, with every podcast, I like to go out to my Instagram audience and ask if they have any questions for the guest. And as always, we got some questions in today. So, one of the first questions that was asked a couple times by a few different people, what are your thoughts on the inflation of tuition costs in relation to the normal economic inflation? So I know that's kind of a loaded question with a lot of big words, but, with college students and with myself included, like student debt is rising. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, it's a welcome question. It's a question that we're wrestling with really hard here. We had raised tuition aggressively in my first few years here. We'd had some economic challenges that were over now. And for the past 2 years, I've frozen tuition. And I'm going to freeze it again for next year. So it'll be at the same levels for 3 years. That's the first part of the story. The second part is that the reason college tuition's gone up so much is because states have withdrawn support. The amount of funding that we used to get was more than double our relatively the amount that we're getting now. So only about 20% of our budget is state supplied anymore. And that means if we're still going to educate people, there's still real costs attendant to that. It got knocked down. It's been knocked down steadily as entitlements like Medicare and Medicaid and things like that have grown in the state budgets. But the other piece of that is that as states have withdrawn their support, students, again, we've tried to keep our tuition as low as we can. And Texas schools, by the way, are a really good deal. We're all somewhere in the $10,000 to $11,000 tuition range, which is pretty good because there's a lot of states where it's much, much higher.
Yes.
But affordability is going to be a key to the future. During the Great Recession, states withdrew even more support, and they also started to withdraw some of the grant support that they offered students. So students now have the ability to go to federal financial aid, Pell eligibility. Students have the ability to get Texas grants, and we offer scholarships. About 50% of our students get some kind of a scholarship. So that's a pretty big number. We spend over $30 million a year on scholarship aid for students, and we're beginning to try to figure out how we can offer more need-based aid to students who are below whose family incomes are below a certain threshold. But this year, and it's funny you asked, this year, and what I'm wrestling with right now is I'm about to announce a major effort around affordability. And we know that if you, for example, the emergency grants and aid, we gave out $17 million. With that, those emergency grant and aid resulted in a 5% increase in retention and the highest graduation rate we've ever had. So we know that money matters. So what we're doing right now is limiting enrollment, working on redistributing our scholarships to kind of smoosh it down to the students who may have the most economic need. And we're also going to be awarding transfer scholarships more readily to incentivize students who want to move from community colleges into the four-year environment. So those are some of the things we're doing. But if students can graduate faster, if they can get early college, high school, all of those types of things help them to limit the amount of debt that they accrue. Last year, our target was to limit student debt to $26,000 on average.
Wow.
Students who had debt, we beat it. We got it down to 21.
Congratulations. That's, as somebody with college debt, that's huge. Every $1,000, every dollar really counts kind of whenever you're paying that off in the long term. And especially, when you're trying to find a job right out of college to pay off said debt. So that's amazing. Congratulations on implementing that program.
Yeah, we want to be one of the most affordable places to get a tier 1 education.
Well, you guys are on track for that, it sounds like. So, awesome. Well, so the next question we got from the audience was, what most excites you about UNT's innovations?
Well, it's really funny. Last year, because of all of the things we're doing with online, all of the things we're doing with digital, all of the things we're doing with data and predictive analytics, and our growth, we were identified as one of the top 10 universities on the rise in the country. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
We came in at number 6, so I'm pretty proud of that. I'll give you an example. We launched a new bachelor's degree called the BAAS, which I would call a completion degree. It lets people take all the credits that they've accumulated, packages them, then gives them a path, the shortest path possible to complete their bachelor's. There's millions of Americans who have some college credit and have it finished. So we wanted to launch this at scale. In fact, I think it's something like 17 million Americans right now who could complete. So we wanted to launch something at scale. So we worked there's the premier academic partner for online is called Coursera. You may have heard of Coursera and edX. And we work with Coursera. They are very fussy about who they partner with. They mostly partner with the academic elites. But we had connections and they decided this was a great idea. It's the first of its kind at scale bachelor's degree in the world, offered through one of these major outfits. And it's our intention to take this degree global. It's relatively inexpensive and it's completely online. So I call that a pretty good innovation. But then to make it better, we partnered with Google so that we're now accepting Google certificates as part of stackable degree credits in the BAAS degree.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's fun stuff going on. We just launched a brand new sports and entertainment management program, and it's in conjunction with the Dallas Cowboys, arguably the premier sports brand in the world. From a money-making perspective, if not from on the field perspective. And they're actually participating by helping us develop curriculum and content and teaching to our students. So that's going to be the top sports entertainment program in the world as well. So we're doing a lot of really fun stuff around academic innovation. JP Morgan Chase have been working with the Wharton School to help provide people with its master's degrees. We talked to them and they said, we're not really happy with our Wharton partnership. It's super expensive and it doesn't seem to really make our employees better. So we rolled out a couple products specifically for them around data and analytics. They love it. Their employees are taking it and they pay for it. So we now have developing these kind of build to suit corporate partnerships. We've got them with Liberty Mutual, with Cinemark, with JP Morgan Chase, the Fidelity Corporation. I mean, I could make you a list here, but we're doing some really fun stuff. And so that excites me. That's just in the online space. Of course, we've always got innovation going on in research. And we've got innovation going on around how we're caring for and supporting our students. We've built, when I got to UNT, we didn't have a single correct database for the university.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of hard to believe, huh?
Yeah.
We were so bad that we just tossed out everything we had and rebuilt from the ground up using really modern data analytics approaches and techniques. And we've recently been cited as having one of the top 5 data analysis groups in the country. So this is the fun kind of stuff. And it might sound, it's very inside baseball, but if you don't have good data, you can't make good decisions.
Right.
So those are some of the things that we're doing. Of course, we're also innovating in the classroom area with academic programs. So our College of Visual Arts and Design, which is great, has been called the top comm design program in the country. But you think of visual arts as people painting and sculpting and doing ceramics, right? Well, ours is in communication design, interior design, fashion design, and user interface experience. These are high-tech areas in our College for Merchandising and Hospitality. We have a program called Consumer Experience. We have the first program in digital merchandising in the world. So, I mean, those people are going to work for like Amazon and stuff, right? They're trained in how to market and sell over the internet and to understand the flow of products. So those are all kind of fun, innovative things. And we think we're kind of out there on the bleeding edge of developing some really new and very edgy programs that will be valuable in the future.
Right. Wow. That I got really excited for the Google certificate portion because I have a Google Analytics certificate for my business that I was told would be very beneficial. And hey, that's, even more reason to get those Google Analytics or Google certificates as well, because they've got a lot of really great ones out there.
Now, where did you get your college degree from?
I went to Texas Women's University, but my mother went to UNT. She has an education degree, and she now teaches math at Denton ISD. And then my husband got a marketing degree, and actually through y'all's Fidelity partnership was able to get a job at Fidelity after he graduated college. So,
oh, that's awesome. So
yeah.
let me tell you about Fidelity.
Yes.
I just met virtually with the executives from Boston and the executives from Westlake. Fidelity has more employees from UNT than any other university in the country.
It's true.
And I love it. It makes me really happy. I asked them, what is special about our students? And they said, look, we get students from UNT. They're really well trained. They know what they're doing, but they're also really happy to have a job. They're team players, and they roll up their shirt sleeves and they get to work. And they go, we get kids from UT or SMU, and they're not as good as the UNT graduates, and they think they're going to be president next year.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I get a kick out of that.
Yes, no, it's been great. And that partnership, is amazing and really did a lot for him to get the job at Fidelity. So yeah, y'all are kicking butt and taking names. So one of the other questions was, what things did you learn as a leader this year? Because, we all know 2020 was insane and absolutely just what nobody expected, kind of out of left field. But what did you learn as a leader through all of that?
That you can't get it done unless you've got a great team. And that's one of the things I'm blessed with. I've got a great team. When COVID hit, we went into high gear. Everybody's been working like crazy, and it kind of doesn't stop, as you probably are aware. And we got things done. We converted 7,700 classes into remote in a 2-week period. I mean, wow. That's pretty remarkable. The teams work tirelessly. Our campus is relatively safe compared to many other campuses around the country. I won't say we're perfectly safe because stuff happens, and you're one incident away from a surge, right? But all things considered, if we didn't have a good team that was high performing, this could have been a really seriously bad situation. We lost less money than most other schools. We continued to grow. We continue to graduate our students. And last year was arguably the most successful year we've ever had as a university, despite COVID. So I'll just say, you got to have good people, and more importantly, you got to have people who care.
Yeah.
And that caring nature came through. And while it's hard to make anyone completely happy during COVID, I think we've done a pretty darn good job, because we hold that caring value out as the first thing in any consideration that we make.
Absolutely. My brother is actually in the Green Brigade with y'all right now. And he's like, they have us all separated and like, we're all far apart and we're all at the football games, being safe. So that just makes me happy, because that is my baby brother, out there. And, y'all are doing great, I think.
Well, the Green Brigade's awesome. We've lost a lot of football games, but we've never lost a halftime.
Never, no. And that's always my favorite part of the game. I was a big marching nerd all through high school and college, and I'm super happy he's in the Green Brigade, because he has a lot of fun. So, but it also shows, like you were saying, the leadership and the steps you're taking to keep your students safe. So it is appreciated. So, and the last question is kind of a funny one, but so who's better, Lucky or Scrappy?
Wow. It's like asking me if I'm a Democrat or a Republican.
I know.
Okay, let me think about this one. When you have children,
yes,
you gotta love them equally.
Exactly.
Scrappy's our official mascot. Lucky is certainly our unofficial mascot. And if you come up here, Lucky hangs out right outside Hurley Hall. I see him almost every day.
Oh my goodness.
And he is out there posing and happy. So I would say students love Scrappy, and Scrappy's certainly our symbol. But when they see Lucky, they get the biggest smile on their face.
Oh yeah.
And they all want to go get pictures of him, and so it's very exciting. So I'm just going to say, Lucky is a crowd pleaser, and you know the myth, right, about Lucky?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Right. So if you see Lucky, you're going to do well in your next test, right? That's important. So see, Scrappy doesn't have the same mojo going. However, Scrappy is an awesome mascot, and I love seeing Scrappy, and I know my grandchildren think Scrappy is a godlike creation. I won't say being because he's an eagle, but
Yeah. So Scrappy does a lot of outreach with some of the local mascots with the high schools, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, Scrappy does outreach, and Scrappy is often available for appearances that promote the university. And Lucky, on the other hand, he just hangs out in his tree.
Yeah, Lucky's just living life, living it up on that beautiful green campus y'all have.
Yeah. So I don't know. Again, I can't pick my favorite child. They do different things for us, but they're both awesome.
That's a great analogy. They're like your children. They're like UNT's children. I like that. So, all right. Well, you guys recently expanded the UNT Collab on the square. And how has the Collab space helped expand the UNT mission to build a creative community that empowers your students to thrive in a rapidly changing world?
Wow, you read it.
I did. I pulled that right off and I said, here we go.
It's being run by our College of Merchandising and Hospitality. And so it's a perfect field experience for our students, right? Putting good creative stuff in there, and then being able to staff it gives real life experience to the marketing folks. Its purpose is really as a piece of community goodwill, to get our brand out there, but also to offer the square a little bit more excitement. Now, we used to have a better location on the square, but there were some problems with that. And I kind of wish we were on the square, but there's some good business down there by the gnome cone, snow cone shop. So
love the gnome cones.
Yeah, so mostly I think this is a good chance for us to think about what we're going to market, do a little brand testing, do a little product testing, and I think our students can get a huge benefit out of it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful space. I've walked past it and done many a photo shoots by it. I haven't had the pleasure of going into the new space yet, but me and my husband were frequent customers to the old space. So,
well, hey, grab a snow cone and wander in.
Absolutely. So how has the UNT campus and community kind of given back to the Denton community?
There's so many different ways. I know we have people who are board members on United Way. We have people who are board members on Denton Benefit League and contribute heavily to that. We support, of course, the education in the school districts here. And if you look at school districts in Texas, it's like UNT kind of owns all the superintendents. So we're very key to making sure that the educational programming here is strong through our activities, outreach, and the people that we produce. Of course, because of the music scene here and the music scene in Denton, our musicians are a major part of a thriving Denton scene. Denton, the little D is a rival to Austin in many ways. Just more like Austin 40 or 50 years ago, 40 years ago when I was in Austin. So those are some of the ways, but we also are contributing to economic development in this region. Companies that move here want to know that there's support. And our innovation spaces are starting to open up more opportunities for entrepreneurship and tech transfer and tech innovation in the community. And I would like to see, Denton's made some real moves lately around trying to stir up the economic development front because they were competing with Frisco, and Frisco's been doing very, very well in that domain. So I think right now what we want to do is help be at the forefront of getting Denton to become not just a thriving music scene in college town, but a thriving tech city.
Right. I love that. Yeah. And there's, the entrepreneurship community here in Denton always amazes me, with all the small businesses we have and all of the ones that even through COVID have just kind of popped up. It's been really great to see. All right. So what are you specifically prioritizing for the future of UNT?
Well, our big moves this year have been to become better at being diverse and inclusive, and that includes gaining our HSI status, but it also includes a number of other initiatives to try to make our culture as affirmative as it can possibly be of what the face of the United States and Texas is going to look like. We also are very concerned with affordability. As I've mentioned already, it's a huge issue, and we want to be at the forefront of making university education affordable and limiting student debt and getting students out into the marketplace so that if they have debt, they can start repaying it faster. We're also prioritizing our continued rise in the Tier 1 ranks and in the Carnegie ranking system. Our U.S. Students Enrolled Report rankings jumped 20 points this year. It was huge.
Wow.
From public, so being number 1 for the region, number 120. So that's a pretty good move, and we want to try to make the same kind of move again. So we're growing our research enterprise. We're expanding the amount of funded research that we have. We're working through becoming known as a great online school and an innovative school. But again, I think if it gets back to meat and potatoes, if it gets back to meat and potatoes, trying to expand accessibility for our students and affordability for our students, and then retaining them and giving them pathways to success after a top priority. And that's what we're really focused on, like a laser. And I think we're going to be at the forefront of universities who are trying their best to limit that student debt and be a place where people want to be, feel engaged, feel cared for, and as a result are more successful in their life. So
absolutely.
Those are our focus areas.
I love that. Yeah. Well, where can people connect with you and can connect with UNT?
Oh, that's easy. www.unt.edu.
There you go.
So simple.
Easy peasy.
That's right. Jump online and see what we're up to.
Yeah, you guys have a great website that kind of guides you through kind of what you guys have done, what the future of UNT is. I pulled some stuff off there for today's interview, as you noticed, and it's a great, website that you guys have developed, and you guys are great overall. So.
Well, it's been so fun talking with you.
Thank you.
The best of luck with your podcast and with its distribution. And your husband working with Fidelity. I mean, I just love this. This is like a Denton dream here, a Texas woman graduate and a UNT graduate.
It really is, it's been fun. And through COVID, we've been able to, do a little bit of outreach to our community because we've been home to kind of connect with our community more. And I'm just so excited to get to talk to you and get to chat with you today and learn more about all the amazing things that UNT has done and is going to continue to do. So thanks so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, I got to finish the only way you can finish. Go Mean Green.
Kaka. That's how it goes. Oh, well, thank you so much. And it was a pleasure to have you on today. And you guys can continue to tune into all of the podcasts on Apple Music, on Spotify, wherever you can get your podcast. And as always, I'm Lilia Whittington of the Diaries, and you can find me on Instagram and my website. And what's up?
Oh, I just had to tell you, you're on Spotify, huh?
We are on Spotify, yes.
So you want another UNT success story?
Yes, always.
So the chief of marketing, the global marketing officer for Spotify, is Dusty Jenkins, and she's a UNT grad.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you have it. That's amazing. That's so cool. Yeah.
You got to give her a call.
I'll have to reach out to her, it sounds like. Wow. Well, thank you so much for that little tidbit of information. And that's super exciting. So
Good luck on Spotify and Apple.
Thank you. Yes. And thank you guys for always tuning in. And we will see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank our partners and sponsors who made this show possible. Now stick around for a word from all of us here at Discover Denton. Hey everybody, if you haven't checked it out yet, DentonRadio.com has soft launched a new website and brand. We'd love for you to go and check out the new look, but we also want to walk you through the new website and all the features you can see. So the main thing that we're most excited about is we have this video feed right at the top of the page that's a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week video feed of different Denton performances. Now these are past recordings that we've done here at Denton Radio. We also have some awesome recordings coming at us from Tiny Couch Productions. Thank you, Tiny Couch. If you haven't checked out Tiny Couch, you've got to go see those guys. So 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week feed, and what we're dedicated to as an organization is going forward, we're going to be trying to be inside different Denton venues as much as possible. So we're going to be going to Dan's and Rubber Gloves and Andy's and LSA and recording the shows while they're happening and putting them right here. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're going to have a true window into the Denton music scene. So it's going to be really, really cool. Now just beneath that, we have the This Week in Denton section. And what you can do is scroll through and see all the shows that are happening in Denton that week. And then you can listen to the different songs from the different artists that are playing those shows. And then when you click the green button underneath it, it's going to take you right to discoverdenton.com's calendar page for that show. So you're going to get all the info on where, what, who, how, all that good stuff. And we'll be changing this out every single week. So you're going to have a full section of all the shows that are happening and everybody that's playing where you can go listen to them and check it out. We also still have our podcasts on this page. Everything that we were doing before is still here, but all these new fun features are coming at you. More features as well to come as we get further and further into this soft launch. And whenever we can start booking shows again and everybody's kind of back to normal, we're going to have a really awesome big launch party and we'll get the final product out there. And we're super, super excited about it. So thank you guys so much for checking it out. Go see it all at DentonRadio.com.